Good morning. I'm Max Cohen, Congressional Reporter here at Punchbowl News, and I'm filling in for Anna and Jake today. Welcome to the Daily Punch, brought to you by Punchbowl News. It's Friday, May 15th, 2026. Let's get into the mix. Here are your top Washington headlines of the day. Number 1, crypto success and what it means for American politics. Number 2, the latest on reconciliation talks. And number 3, the highway bill. Let's get into the mix with the number 1 Washington story of the day, and that is Brendan Peterson's great dispatch on the cryptocurrency industry and a major legislative triumph that happened yesterday in the Senate. The Senate Banking Committee on Thursday secured a monumental milestone from cryptocurrency, a bipartisan markup of a bill that would give the industry an enduring foothold in the regulated U.S. financial system. After months of uncertainty, this legislation's chances have never looked better, although some challenges still remain, we'll note. Proponents of the bill say the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act will protect American consumers from fraud and allow financial innovation to thrive. And they could be right. But Brendan writes, we have to be completely clear-eyed about what brought Congress to this pivotal moment: campaign cash, pure and simple, and a whole lot of it. Most congressional staffers and lawmakers still cannot really explain what crypto is or what it's good for, not without a hand-waving appeal to innovation and onshoring jobs. And we'll note the crypto industry still remains a fraction of the size of the traditional finance system, and its exposure to regulated banks remains limited for now. But this insurgent sector has come to power and relevance by spending unprecedented sums on U.S. elections. The industry has openly threatened the political careers of vulnerable lawmakers in some key races, and we saw that in recent cycles, and it will continue this cycle. And now crypto is wielding this power and fear in a way that could reshape the U.S. financial system forever, all without the urgency of an economic crisis or an obvious public mandate. Poll after poll shows the average voter doesn't know much about crypto, doesn't care much about crypto, and this is just money talking. And for some crypto allies, that's okay. Here's Senator Bernie Moreno, Republican from Ohio, who said, quote, "Does it kind of suck a little bit that there's money in politics? Of course, we've all been moaning about that, but that's just the way it works. There's nothing we can do about that." And we'll note, Moreno was a beneficiary of massive amounts of crypto spending to support him in his successful election against Sherrod Brown in 2024. Let's talk about the Thursday markup a bit. Senators spoke at length about their commitment to enacting a bipartisan agreement on crypto policy. But for progressives like Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, this same commitment is damning because it comes for an industry-backed bill. Warren said, quote, "A rich and powerful industry drives the agenda in the U.S. Senate. The senators did not spend tens of thousands of hours on a crypto bill because back home their constituents were demanding it. They spent that time because the crypto industry wanted a bill." But we'll note that this bill has divided Democrats. Angela Alsobrooks, Democrat of Maryland, supported the bill and told us that the sector needs to be regulated. Quote, "I have constituents who will be scammed out of their money. If we do not regulate this industry, the horse is out of the barn." But we'll note that the Clarity Act is far more significant than the simple consumer protection bill. As Brendan writes, it's a large diamond tip drill set to carve the crypto industry directly into the traditional financial sector. And this is why Brendan is the best in the biz at crypto coverage. So that's great rhetoric. We love that. Diamond tip drill. And Brendan, who also comes from a banking coverage background, notes that crypto's reach has supplanted the banking sector, Capitol Hill's oldest and most influential sectors. The banking sector did not like this bill. They said it contained inadequate stablecoin yield restrictions, and even law enforcement groups were worried about the bill's potential to supercharge money laundering. But this bill is moving ahead, and we will keep you posted on what's next. Now, on to our number 2 story of the day, latest on the bird bath and what it means for Reconciliation 2.0. This is from Laura Weiss and Andrew Desiderio. The bird bath is in full swing. Senate Republicans and Democrats are duking it out as a parliamentarian formally decides whether the GOP's reconciliation bill funding ICE and Border Patrol complies with the chamber's strict budget rules. Stay tuned Friday for the most anticipated rulings, which have significant political implications. Now, the line-by-line scrub started Thursday with arguments over the Homeland Security Panel's section of the bill, and we'll note the parliamentarian ruled against language in large sections of the package that funds CBP and provide an extra $2.5 billion for the Department of Homeland Security, per Senate Budget Committee Democrats. Top Senate Republicans are already reworking the text to align it with the reconciliation rules. And we'll note that Majority Leader Thune and his spokesperson Ryan Rassi noted that these were just, quote, technical fixes that were not unexpected. Senate Democrats celebrated these rulings and vowed to keep up the pressure in the birdbath and vote-a-rama process. Up next, the parliamentarian is expected to hear arguments on the Senate Judiciary Committee's portion of the GOP reconciliation bill on Friday. This, of course, is a section that includes security funding as part of President Trump's White House ballroom project. DHS officials all week have been on the Hill trying to sell lawmakers on the $1 billion fund, but we'll note that many moderate Republicans and those facing tough re-election races are wary of voting for anything remotely related to this ballroom project, and it could be politically disastrous. Some Republicans are openly questioning whether this security fund provision will survive the birdbath, and some are even hoping it does get struck out so they don't have to vote on it. But Republicans in leadership have vowed to continue rewriting this section to pass muster with the parliamentarian. Other Republicans said, hey, this could even make it worse because multiple failed attempts to pass the project could worsen the political optics. The White House still remains committed because they see congressional authorization as the best way to beat back potential court challenges related to the East Wing construction. Now on to our number 3 story of the day, the highway bill. The House's top transportation lawmakers are close to clinching a deal on a reauthorization of the highway, transit, and infrastructure programs. Text of this bill could come from the House T&I committee as soon as Friday, ahead of a markup next week. And this would be a big step for T&I, which has struggled to settle on renewal of a surface transportation program bill. It's still unclear if this can happen this year because the Senate process is dragging on and Trump is floating a gas tax holiday. But Rick Larson, the top Democrat on T&I, said, quote, we're close on much of it and got some distance to close up on a few things. This would be a big win if it gets done for retiring committee chair Sam Graves of Missouri, and it also may push the Senate to act. We will note the price tag could be an issue for some conservatives. The price tag is between $550 billion and $600 billion, and that might not fly with folks in the Freedom Caucus. There are also some electric vehicle registration fees being floated by Graves. Graves won this in the reconciliation bill last year. It didn't happen. He's trying to include it now. And there would be a $250 fee for EVs, a $100 fee for hybrids, and that money would pay the Highway Trust Fund. That's from Graves' earlier proposal. We also have some provisions on rail safety that Democrats and Republicans want included, although that effort has drawn some outside pushback. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the Daily Punch, and we hope you do, please leave us a rating and review, share on social media. It's the best way for folks to find out about us. You can also sign up for our free morning newsletter at punchbowl.news. Happy Friday, have a great day, and stay safe, everyone.